Let's take a look at this clip of Lisa getting really upset over a less than perfect grade.
There appears to be a mistake on my report card. You gave me a B+ in conduct?
Now, Lisa, everyone needs a blotch on their permanent record.
Perhaps I'm not making myself clear. I think you should reconsider.
Obviously, the joke here is that she's so upset that she's not getting an A that she's conducting herself really poorly. Her teacher says everyone needs a blotch on their permanent record, which means everyone needs something bad on their permanent record. But what exactly is a permanent record? The idea is that if you do anything wrong at all at school, and I mean anything, if you talk during an assembly, if you don't do an assignment on time, if you pass notes in class, it'll be written down in a record which will follow you throughout school and into adulthood. Now, there obviously is no permanent record that follows students into their adulthood, affecting their lives further down the road. But every child believes it. And I don't know where the idea of the permanent record got started, like if it was from a book or a TV show or what, but every child believes it. I remember that I myself believed it until I actually saw a TV show making fun of people who still believed in it. Watch this clip of Bart trying to convince his teacher to give him better grades.
Mrs. Krabappel, in figuring out my final grades, I hope you'll note that all of my textbooks are being returned in excellent condition. In some cases, still in their original wrappings.
The joke here is that he's returning the textbook still in its wrappings, meaning he's never once opened it to study from it. Now that might be a little confusing, but in America, in primary and secondary school, students are given books for 1 year and then they have to return them at the end of the year. And if you return them in poor condition, you get in a lot of trouble and you might actually have to pay for the book. So in the front of the book, a student will write their name and the year that they get it, and then they have to cover the book. Usually we would use paper bags, and then you would just decorate the paper bags. Let's watch a clip of one of the camp counselors bullying the campers.
All right, you balls of pan drippings! I want to see Crisco coming out of those pores!
So to understand this joke, you need to know that Crisco is the name of a type of cooking grease. So it's kind of like lard or fat or something that you would use to, fry food or to, grease a cake pan before you put the flour in to make sure the cake doesn't stick. By saying he wants to see them sweat Crisco out of their pores, he's basically implying that the kids are so big that instead of sweating sweat, they would sweat Crisco. It's really funny, but also really, really mean. So don't say that to anyone, even as a joke. Watch this next clip where Krusty is talking to the children, but they think he's wearing a wire.
I smell bacon. Let's see if he's wearing a wire.
Hey, not the face!
It is the real Krusty.
Now, there's a lot to unpack in this clip. First, by wearing a wire, that means someone is wearing a recording device for the police. And second, when Bart says, "I smell bacon," what he's basically doing is warning the other children that he thinks that Krusty is actually a cop in disguise. And you understand that because bacon equals pig. And a really derogative slang term for cops is pig. This is really disrespectful and not something that you ever want to say to a police officer.